That was the actual real goal behind my conquest of Super Metroid. I'm glad you let me share that with everyone. If you don't like younger people cringe, then look away. Ooh, what's gonna happen next? I don't know.
Yo, what's up, MM2? Welcome to Speed Trap. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks. I don't know. I'd say I'm happy to be here, but I just woke up and no, I'm kidding. Now I am happy to be here. So
Yeah, you're our,
yeah.
our first guest who hates. Well, you're probably not our first guest who hates Link to the Past, but you're our first guest who behaves like they hate Link to the Past. Nice to have
Yeah.
some representation.
Yeah. I'm your first guest that hates Link to the Past and means it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the first Link to the Past player who went to ESA and hung out with pretty much exclusively Link to the Past people, and then proceeded to not play Link to the Past once during the entire week.
Yeah, that's a great segue because I was going to say you're hot off of your ESA run where you worked
Mhm.
very hard to get a setup where you didn't have to play Link to the Past in a Link to the Past randomizer.
Yeah, yeah. I DM'd Ari and I begged him on my hands and knees to play A Link to the Past for me in SMG3 so that I could play SMG3 and still look competent in both games.
And
So,
it
and
worked.
the best way, yeah, it works. I got to play both of them, but I only had to actually play one, and somebody way better than me could play the other. We were all very happy.
Yeah, I watched some of that run. It was pretty cool. How did you feel about it? You think everything went well?
I think that I failed Dragon, and I really shouldn't have, and I want to delete the run off every corner of the internet. But otherwise, it was like pretty okay. I fucked up bootless dive. I mean, I messed up bootless dive the second time around, and that was also my fault. So that was not Pog, but yeah, everything else was pretty solid.
That's okay though. The point of marathon runs isn't necessarily, I think, to do everything perfectly. It's more to like be entertaining and introduce some people to the game. Um,
Yeah,
I think that stuff was good. It was enjoyable to
mhm,
watch, at least for me.
yeah. In retrospect, Farfalu picked like a pretty good seed for. If you don't know, Farfalu vetted the seed. He's an SMZ3 friend of mine. He was like fairly. He was a little unsure about the seed, except for like the stuff that I asked him about, which was like that boots were early and whatever measure of interesting he said it was interesting, which the logic certainly was interesting, but the it was very much a you do bootless dive and it tears the seat apart and you save 20 minutes, or you follow the horrible logic chain and get your hook shot the intended way. It was bad.
Right, you finished quite a lot underestimate, right? So I guess you did
Yes.
the sequence breaking that saved 20 minutes.
Yeah, we very much did. They actually I got to put an extra run on after us because of that, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
So yeah, I think it was ukulele. So I don't know. I know nothing about the game, but more runs, more better.
How about the rest of ESA? You just got back yesterday, I think, right?
Yes, I finished getting back yesterday, but my massive transatlantic flight was Sunday.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
I did that, and then I knew I would be like instantly ready to conk out, and I was. And then I still spent 2 hours getting to my hotel in Atlanta because I love the United States.
Okay.
That's yeah,
But
yeah.
how was the rest of ESA?
Oh, it was pretty good. As mentioned, I hung out with A Link to the Past runners and still managed to play zero A Link to the Past. Except I guess like probably 30 seconds testing it for Airy specifically. I also managed to get indoctrinated as a pilot spoiler,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, that
For Link to
was
the
fun.
Past or for SM?
A Link to the Past. SM spoiler is a complicated topic, which I will now proceed to not talk about. But
Okay, good. Yeah.
yeah,
We're all about
yeah,
apophysis in this podcast.
mhm.
I love Pilot Spoiler in Link to the Past.
It's honestly super cool.
Yeah, really fun
I
mode.
think the different balance between the two runners, like the two runners on the team, is a really cool dynamic. And like having a ton of work for the pilot at the start and then almost no work for the pilot at the end, versus kind of just a clean ramp for the runner going up toward the end is like a really cool idea. And
Hmm.
also just playing random with your friends is fun.
Yeah. Playing Rando with your friends is really fun. And it removes the bad parts of Rando, which is when you need the ice rod and it's somewhere stupid.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, we still have that part. We just get to have like a laugh about it in VC
Yeah.
instead of whinging about it for 30 minutes while you wait while you do clear everything, and it's still in the worst place possible.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I don't even know. Are there any pilot spoiler tournaments? I
Not
guess it's too
really.
late for you to join SGL.
Well, that's not pilot spoiler. That's regular spoiler, so I have to play Zelda myself, and
Yeah.
we all know I'm not about that.
Maybe you can pilot someone at SGL.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's like, I don't know. There's probably not going to be as many pilot spoilers at SGL as there were at ESA because we're going to all be busy playing our races
Right,
instead of
yeah.
hanging around and talking and then being like, "Oh, y'all want to do a pilot spoiler?" And the rest of us being sure. I blame Gem and Clearhouse.
Right. And you will have to actually play Link to the Past at SGL.
Oh no.
I
Well,
I assume you're
oh yeah.
joining SMC3, right?
Well, I do need to actually figure out what SMC3 is going to be before SMC3 can be a thing that I'll join as a person who will probably become a part of the admin team for SMC3 once again.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a problem for future me who is not burdened with adminning like 2 or 3 other things right now.
Yeah, you admin a lot of stuff. I know of you for, of course, for organizing the Link to the Past All Dungeons RMG monthly race,
Yeah,
which is this Saturday for anyone
yeah.
watching. I
If
guess it was
Foxtrot
yesterday.
wants to, true. But if a certain Foxtrot wants to do comms, let me know. But
Maybe.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your perfect excuse to not race.
It
So
is, yeah. I have another good excuse this time because I need to. I'm trying to become a ZSR restreamer, so I need to like shadow some restreams. But one of
uh,
the reasons I want to become a ZSR restreamer is that there's no restreams in my time zone, so there's nothing for me to shadow in my time zone either. So I might
uh,
end up
got him.
shadowing the monthly, but we'll see.
Nice.
What
Yeah.
else are you running?
So I admin that obviously. I admin the SMC3 weeklies, which is really I put the schedule up and I ping people every time there's a weekly, and then I admin the Super Metroid Mystery Tournament right now, which is really just the tournament that's currently running in the main tournament Discord for how much that means in Super Metroid, which is way less than it means in Link to the Past. And then I also admin right now. I'm adminning the Super Metroid HD Live Online tournament, and then
What's
I'll
that? What
admin.
mode is that?
That's Map Rando,
Okay.
which was my choice, but also I kind of regret it now because I would really just rather play Area Rando for a variety of reasons.
Why is that?
It's more fun and it's more balanced, and
Interesting.
it's not. I don't know. Map Rando is not a complete coin flip, and this is actually going to sound like fairly biased because around about 12 hours ago, I just lost to Aussie
Hmm.
2-0, but he's also the GOAT of Map Rando, and it's not really questionable in my opinion. But yeah, I think Map Rando's it's in a questionable spot right now, just competitively, how it's balanced for a variety of reasons.
That's
Just
interesting.
because, yeah, just because of how the logic works and how the Map Rando works, but also Area has had way more time to become competitively balanced, so Map Rando's not really going to get any better unless people run tournaments for it.
True. Yeah, you're helping out.
Yeah, I'm helping out make the thing I hate become better. That's a lie. I don't hate Map Rando as much as I hate Zelda.
Well, no, of course.
I could never hate anything else that much. Zelda, my hate for Zelda is special.
Yeah, I understand. From a fairly outsider perspective, it seems to me like Map Rando has kind of been popping off. Like, I follow a few SM people on Twitch, and they, like, Oats and some of those
Mhm.
guys are playing a lot of Map Rando in a way that I feel like they weren't really ever playing a lot of Area Rando. It seems like it's been, like, very popular.
Yeah,
Is that accurate?
yeah, I agree. It's like it's very popular with big streamers because it's a lot easier for them to just say, "I'm going to stream 3 Map Randos today," and that's their stream, and it's good content. Whereas that's really not true for Area Rando. But it's like Area Rando is a better race for the racers,
I
but
see.
Map Rando is a better stream for the streamers who want to stream to basically SG chat, who like the sensationalization of, "Oh, what's gonna happen next? I don't know." And it's like it can actually be anything, which is kind of just their dream.
I see.
At least that's my read on it. I'm not a streamer.
Yeah, but a little too like high variance or swingy.
Yeah, basically, it's way too easy to just be 3 minutes ahead out of whatever the first section is, and then you just win by 3 minutes because of that.
Yeah,
Or you're like doing a blind navigation trying to get to a map station, and oh, there's my Varia suit that I just went to the right door for, and now still have to go back and get the map station, and my opponent didn't get this suit, and they have to come back and waste 2 minutes, and then the race is decided on that. And there's just a lot of those. Plus, there's a lot of stuff that's in Logic that shouldn't be in Logic that we're just finding out because we're playing it so much. So, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff like that.
makes sense. Link to the Past went through a sort of ramp of it was very very swingy, and things get the randomness of the randomizer gets reduced over time because the people who like provide the most feedback into the randomizer are the people who want to have competitive races and play it 500 times. And the novelty of like, oh, I just found gold sword 1 minute in is only really novel the first couple times.
Yeah,
And you just want smoother seeds for the most part if you're going to play hundreds and hundreds of them.
yeah, exactly. There's just the people who want the thing to be competitive will actually put the time in, and I just happen to not be competitive because I really like area rando, and I just want to play fun mode that I already like.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, well, we kind of jumped ahead to the present day, but I am interested a little bit in how you got into speedrunning, and especially speedrunning old games that are older than you. It's
Hmm.
not at all unheard of for young people to pick up retro games for whatever reasons, but I am curious in what brought you to this, uh,
Yeah,
collection of games.
yeah. So I have a story that I get to tell every time people ask me this question. So if you don't like younger people cringe, then look away, I guess. But yeah, so I was being like a young seventh or eighth grader, I think, and I was playing Geometry Dash, and then like as you do, and I heard a remix of Wily One for Mega Man 2 in Geometry Dash, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I figured out that it was from Mega Man 2, so I subsequently asked my parents for an S Classic, and for some odd reason, they actually got me it. And then, like a couple months later, and then I played through and beat Mega Man 2 again, which is strange for a seventh or eighth grader, but that happened. Then I think the next thing in the timeline is I played through beat, tried to speedrun SMB 1 on that NES Classic, and didn't really go too well. I I think I might like, I'm not on the boards, but I also created a Twitch account at that like roughly in that time period. Obviously, like the MM2 in my name stands for Mega Man 2
Yeah,
because like the thing that got me into all the rest of this mess. So I still have that. It was originally Mega Man 2 NES cartridge, like spelled out. And then I was like, that's too many letters. I'm going to make it less letters, but still a lot of letters.
it's a lot of
So,
letters. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of letters. I think I'm like the second or third longest name in the SM Mystery Tournament right now. I know there's a guy called Incompetent Perfectionist, which is way more characters than me, but everybody shortened his name to IP.
Right.
But anyways, back to the actual story. So I'm like in my SMB1 speedrunning era, and then I'm like watching videos on YouTube, and I think I come across Zenny's RBO Run It GDQ, and I'm like, this looks pretty cool. I'm gonna do a casual playthrough of this game. So, and I also needed something to do in class that wasn't actually paying attention to the teachers
That's
because
important. Yeah.
it's yeah, as you do. This was like late. It was like middle of freshman year. It was like a couple months before COVID. So
Mm.
I did my casual of Super Metroid. I got like halfway through on a shitty web emulator on a school Chromebook, and then I was like, "This sucks. I'm gonna play this on a actual emulator on my PC at home." And then I did that, and it was like December 2019, and then a
Okay,
couple
but hold
months
up,
later,
hold
I was,
up.
yeah,
You're missing something important. If you're playing that at home instead of in class, what are you doing in class instead of paying attention?
oh, that's actually a good question. Probably playing Cool Math, or I don't know. Cool Math is like still good for a couple
What
things.
is that? Coolath?
Cool Math.
Oh, cool math.
COLL. It's like a site that hold it that hosted a lot of Flash games
Oh,
like
oh,
before
okay.
Flash went down, and now hosts a lot of HTML5 games that resemble Flash games or
Gotcha.
Flash games remade in HTML5. It's actually pretty good. I played a lot of games on there throughout my childhood.
Nice.
Actually, it wasn't Cool Math, but it was another Flash game site. Like, was the game that this is like slight tangent, but it was the game that inspired my control scheme. Is Rogue Soul 2, which I actually hold the 80% glitchless record in today, which is kind of a
Sweet.
meme. Yeah, it's press slide rhythmically the speed run because it's a
Mm.
massive auto scroller. It's 10 different auto scrollers. But anyways, then it's like start of 2020. It's like February, and I'm like, huh, I can do something with my time after school that isn't scroll around on the internet on my phone all day. So I decided to start learning Super Metroid, and then COVID hit, and it kind of just enabled me massively. And
Right.
then I started spending even more time learning Super Metroid, and then I like put more time into it, and I got sub hour in like 2 months, which is was yeah I did get yeah that's correct. I did get sub hour in like May of 2020, and then after that I was like pretty happy with my 90% time for now, I guess. And then I started getting into Multitroid, which is basically ALTTPO, but it actually existed in May of 2020 for Super Metroid. And I met a couple of people, and they got me into multi-worlds. And then they were doing SMT3 multi-worlds, and I wanted to do SMT3 multi-worlds with them, which required playing the other part of SMT3 that isn't SM. So I unfortunately ended up learning Zelda. Yeah, I also got into like SM randos through that. And I was like, I remember thinking at some point in this time, hey, I can like route these. I just have to play well. Spoiler: I could not route them or play well. I still struggle with both aspects of this today.
Don't we all?
Yeah, don't we all? Unfortunately, SM is I don't know. Is it easier to route than A Link to the Past? I guess maybe because, but I don't know because area is more like cross keys than normal rando. But
Mm.
vanilla map just sucks, so we don't play it. But yeah, then I'm like going through life in late 2020, learning Zelda as well as like playing SM in a couple different aspects. I'm learning just like a couple different categories because I remember early I like learned any percent, and then I immediately after just went straight into learning Hondo. And
Was this for Link
oh
to the
yeah,
Past or
yeah,
SM?
yeah. This is SM.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think I ever learned Link to the Past category until like mid 2021. I don't
Mm.
think, but I was always like bouncing between categories. Like if I ever felt like it was getting too hard to PB in a category, I would just switch to a different category. Or if I was like, getting tired of it, I would switch to a different category. So like it took me a bit to get sub hour, but I also like got like I get 140, 150 hundo time at this like at the same time in the same process, which is pretty useful for rando at least at
Yeah.
that time. And then the first SM tournament I joined was the 100% tournament qualifiers. I missed making the bracket by one spot. It was like they
Mm.
took top 48, and I was the 49th seed,
Bummer.
which is still pretty bad. Like I got like a high 1-3x or something. It was like a mid some 1-3x. The qualifier sheets are probably still out there
Totally.
somewhere in Farrell's Google Sheet archive. Oh, but yeah, I did that. Failed to make it, and then later that year was like SG Live online because obviously COVID. So I joined the. Well, I tried to join the 80% tournament, didn't make it, obviously, because I still had like a high 5x 90% time. And then I did the rando tournament, and I did the double anti bingo tournament. Double anti bingo tournament, I did like surprisingly well. I lost to a guy I would beat nowadays because he doesn't play the game anymore. His name is Tornado. In the random tournament, I lost 2-0 to Slitters, who's was really good and still is really good. But like I had like a reasonable chance to beat her because at the time I just like played stupid on purpose and got rewarded for it in 2 matches, and then still managed to throw and lose
Yeah.
2 matches. So that match is like still pretty funny.
You were just sort of clown routing and got lucky.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I pulled off cack skip and it worked and it saved me time, but like worse. Kind of, I don't know. It's like kind of hard to put vanilla map Super Metroid into Link to the Past terms because of how big the lack of a save and quit feature is in Super Metroid.
Yeah, that's a big difference between the games.
Mhm. I kind of like it in Super Metroid this way, just because of the way it turned out in area. But one time, I was talking with Nobody Nada, who's a guy who does a lot of like dev work in the practice hack and knows a lot of the code and is also a pretty good KPDR runner. He has like he has either a 48 or a 49, I don't remember.
Is he a Tasser also, or am I remembering that wrong?
Yes, no, he's
Okay.
one of the two authors on the current PAL 0% TAS. I was talking with him. This was like before the TAS, and he was like, I think he just brought up that there was a debug like save warp feature like in Super
Hmm.
Metroid. Like you were there was like skeleton code for
Right.
like when you're loading from a save, you can switch which save you're loading from to a save that you already saved at. And I was like, "Yeah, what if you finished that feature and published a patch for it?" And he was like, "Yeah, what if I did?" And then he did it, and then nobody ever just proceeded to do anything with it.
That's too bad.
I like patched a rando with it and did a rando with it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is kind of uninteresting because Super Metroid really wasn't built around this."
Right.
It was actually a pretty cool time, just like messing around with it for like a day or two, and then going back to my normal life. To go back to the main storyline of what I've been doing, I guess after SG Live Online, I got more into Zelda. I joined the Overworld Glitch Mentor tournament. That was like the OG Overworld Glitches Mentor tournament that like revived the glitch racing community, and I learned glitches, and then I raced glitches for a little bit, and I raced normal rando for a little bit in Link to the Past. Like for then, I was playing Link to the Past more seriously, I guess if you could call it serious. But I was playing it, and then was that the year I joined the main tournament? I think I think that was the next year that I joined the main tournament.
I didn't know
But
you had played that
yeah,
much glitchless rando.
no, I used to play a fair bit. Um, for just like to, I don't know if it was to get better at glitched or just because I enjoyed playing glitchless rando, but I did. Um, and it was to get better at SMC3. Of course it was, because like that was also around the point where I started getting more active in SMC3. At one point, I had like a spreadsheet that kept track of every SMC3 weekly that was hosted on race time and did some data with the numbers. I don't remember, and I still have it, but it hasn't been updated since like middle of 2023.
What were you trying to learn from the spreadsheet?
Mostly attendance
Hmm.
numbers and like who's winning the most and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
But in a metric that isn't race time points. Spoiler, it's been going down because nobody plays SMC3 anymore.
Yeah, really
Yeah,
declined.
yeah. I don't know. I think the reasons for that are just A Link to the Past is getting more features, and Super Metroid is getting more balanced, and SMC3 just hasn't been keeping up.
A big part of the I've never done SMC3 for
Mhm.
several reasons, but one of the things I always heard about it from people who played it was that SM Rando isn't fun. And now there's been a lot of innovation in the SM Rando space, and there's Map Rando, there's Area Rando's gotten better, there's all this stuff. So I think
Mhm.
that with a way to play a randomized Super Metroid game that's fun on its own terms, there's a lot less need for SMC3.
Yeah, I definitely think like SMC3 is still cool, but a lot of the times it just stagnates into play A Link to the Past for 15 minutes, play Super Metroid for 40 for like 25 to 45 minutes in
Yeah.
some aspect, play A Link to the Past for an hour, maybe play Super Metroid for a little bit during that, win the game, go do something else with your life. I don't know. At least that's how it feels at a top level.
Right.
Um, if I can call myself to play top in SMT3 context, but yeah, it just like it used to be good and then the other randoms got better, and Total hasn't given enough of a crap to keep SMT3 up, which
Yeah.
is completely fair, but also kind of sad. Yeah, I don't know. I'm also on the train of SM Rando just keeps me going, and I don't need Zelda in my life. Yeah, so after I did I did Zelda Rando and I did SMZ3 Rando for a while. I ended up joining. I did like the SMZ3 tournament for SG Live Online in 2021, and then I lost to Duck in bracket, which was fair. He was better than me at the time. I would say now I'm better than him, but also because he doesn't play the game
I
at
was gonna
all.
say I don't think Duck has streamed in like a year.
Yeah, Duck just doesn't play anymore, but he does organize stuff for speed gaming, and like
Yeah.
he's doing a lot of the back end work for SG Live Online, and that's pretty cool because it means I don't have to do it. Um, so then, yeah, I don't know. I was just like doing stuff on and off, just switching around a lot. But there was a point in time at one point where I like learned uh major glitches hundo, like the old route before hook pushing. Um, and I like learned a couple strats from that, and I still do a couple just because I've been too lazy to learn newer ones that are better than the ones Glenn put in that tutorial.
Classic.
Of course. Oh yeah, I did Super Metroid Rando League at like the start of 2021 with some friends. Um, we did like top eight well, which really isn't that well for Rando League and the size that some Rando League was and still is.
Is that
But
like Link to the Past
eh,
League where it's like teams of
yeah,
three?
yeah. Fun fact: so SM Rando League season 3 directly copied Link to the Past League's format. It was pretty funny. You could like in the rules document, you could see where it was copy pasted.
They
It
had
was
like
hilarious.
copy pasted. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah, they had copy pasted it. It was funny, but it was also a good tournament,
Yeah,
except
I
for
mean
the parts where it wasn't.
people love Link to the Past League, so it's a good
Yeah.
place to start at least.
Oh yeah, yeah. And like people love SM League. I love SM League. I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to the next season of SM League. Part of the reason why I love SM League is because it's one of the few SM tournaments that I don't organize. Though, I don't know. I'm having hope that that won't change before the next SM League. But a lot of the old league admins are just like gone and moving on to better things with their life and just not online anymore. So I have a sinking feeling in my heart that now might be the time where
Yeah.
I become admin of everything.
Taking over.
Yep, I'm just taking over the power is growing and it's kind of a problem. I'll just need to disappear for a day and then the entire SM infrastructure will collapse like Sinek.
Yeah.
No, no, I don't have everything that tied deeply to me. At least not yet. Part of the
Working on it.
problem is yeah, I'll work on it. I'll work on making a bot that upholds the entirety of the race infrastructure first. Yeah, okay. To get back to the actual story, I I was just doing whatever I was feeling like through like the rest of 2021, just doing tournaments. That's kind of still what I do today. It's just run whatever I feel like and then do tournaments when they come up. So I did like S2 Live Online, and then I did what was the start of like 2022? I don't remember. I remember like the big tournament was the summer Super Metroid Random Multicat, and then I also did
Oh, I remember
the
that.
Link to the Past main tournament. Um, and like I managed to get top 64, and then I was matched up versus Zelda round one. I almost beat him in a best of three,
Wow.
but I died to Ganon in game three.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So it's how it goes. But it was like a good race. It was a good
Yeah.
series. Well, I mean, games one and two were pretty decisive just because that's how rando goes. But yeah, really, ever since then, I haven't cared as much about glitchless rando in Link to the Past for whatever reason. I don't know. Just I play Super Metroid. That's my jam.
I think I have really bad sort of sense of linear time, but I think that's around when I stopped caring about it too.
Yeah,
I think the last Link to the Past rando tournament I joined that wasn't glitches was like a casual boots tourney around that time.
yeah. Did you know Josh Bittner is an admin of the Casual Boots tournament?
I do know that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just had to throw that out there because he does. Yeah, that's like around the like after that tournament, I really just started just becoming an SM and SMZ3 player. I don't think I really realized it because I still did the HMG tournament next year,
Yeah, you
but I
did well
didn't
in
do it.
that.
Yeah, yeah, I beat Czechs.
You got like
So
fifth or something.
yeah, I remember I beat Czechs and then I went 0-4 after that and lost.
Nice.
So yeah, I just like I beat Czechs and then I stopped caring. But it was a fun time. I'll probably do the HMG tournament again next year and
Oh, cool.
then continue making excuses to not learn no logic and not learn no logic again.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, maybe I'll like do an AD weekly in between now and then. Just one.
Just
I
one.
don't. I don't need to. Yeah, just one. Don't need to actually relearn the category. Maybe I'll intentionally soft lock a frog door again and forfeit.
That's a good plan. That's a good meme.
It is a good meme. I did do it. The one time that I like actually tried to play the category.
Nice. It's a frame perfect lock, so
Yep.
if you get it, you deserve it.
Thanks. I've gotten it twice in runs, I think.
Nice.
So obviously this means I should drop this strat and do something else with my life. But unfortunately, frog door is too cool. I've done it in randos.
Yeah.
Just because I guess we can continue with this story, but I mean, really, I don't really think it gets more interesting. I just keep playing Super Metroid.
Keep playing
I
Super
think
Metroid,
like yeah, I think like around 2023 is like when I start becoming really good. I guess if
Right.
you can ever really call yourself really good at anything, but then I'm
Well,
like,
you have
yeah,
some good times now. I know you have some world records in some sort of memeier categories as well.
yeah, I have like I think like 2023 was when I started like actually getting those world records in the dumb meme categories and like I was running true completion for a while at that point. I think I started in 2021. But like I my third place arc was coming to an end because the way that TC board worked before I started running it was like Mr. Guy Average had record. Zeus was like a pretty close second, and then third place was like Shred Daily with a 139.
What was first and second at that time?
For second, it was like a 131 and a 132.
Okay, so like a 7 minute gap. That's pretty huge.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty huge. So I like got third place in like a year of getting better at the game and running the category on and off. And then I think I spent 3 years getting past having third place in that category. It was kind of funny.
Are you second now or
I'm
first?
first.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was third place and then I had a pretty good run and got a one I got like a 130 31. And
Nice.
but at that point the record was a 130 46. Actually was I think I might have told a lie. I think MJ's record was I think it just was a 130 46 for a while. But yeah, that was like the last big category extensions record that I still have today. I have like a couple others. Like I have Defeat Mother Brain, which is a massive meme. I have Max Percent Suitless, which is a meme, but I actually play it like it's not a meme
Yeah.
because I like it, but it's still a meme. And then I have like a couple other even worse memes and a couple co-op runs, which is surprisingly also a meme. And then I have one record on the main board, which is GT Space Time, but that's only because Antimatter Course found a trick that saves 10 seconds, and I was the only person to actually do a run with it.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like 80% RMG,
Yeah,
but
right.
also Doom's run is good. So my run is like good, but it's empirically worse than the other, like the second and third place runs. I just get to do a trick that saves 10 seconds because it existed when I did the run.
Right.
But yeah, that was like 2023 when that all started, and it's just gotten worse. I've just been playing more and more. I did Rendo League Season 4 with Bressingham and Farflu in the start of 2023, and we got top four. And
Nice.
yeah, I don't know. The modes are all right, but they could be better, and they are hopefully going to be better next time.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right. Well, I have a couple things about that are interesting to me.
Mhm.
So you said that you played MM2, Mega Man 2, when you
Mhm.
were, I don't know, 13 or whatever.
It was older than that, like 15. But yeah, anyways, your point stands.
But yeah, so I, being an old man, grew up playing games that were designed like that. And
Mhm.
so I'm curious what it was like playing a game that is designed to like be sort of miserable and unfun and punishing if you're coming from a context where like we're designing games that are fun. Um,
Yeah,
was it like, did you have any context? Was it like kind of a slap in the face how like harsh the NES games
it
are?
was definitely hard, but also it was on the NES Classic, so I had like save states.
Oh yeah, that helps. Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely helped. But it was definitely like harder than other stuff that I had played at that time, which was mostly my Minecraft. That was like my first video game way back in 2012.
Yeah. I've still never played Minecraft.
Yeah, honestly, nowadays you're not missing much. Man who used to play Minecraft for like 6 years, probably more. But yeah, it was a really different experience playing M2, and then immediately after playing Super Mario Bros. One, I played a couple others. I think at one point I did a casual play of Super Mario World, which is pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. I think Super Mario World is fun. I think that SNES titles were already a big jump away from punishment and into fun.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, there's just a bunch of NES titles that are stupid and punishing and
Yeah.
known for being stupid and punishing, and then their sequels are like on the SNES are good and
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
See Super Mario World, A Link to the Past, Super Metroid. Yeah, there's probably a bunch of others that I could name, but I'm really not willing to think about them.
No, that's fine. Yeah. So, but did you like, how did it, like, I feel like if I were used to modern games and then somebody put me in front of Mega Man 2, I would play it for 5 minutes and be like, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah, I mean that was like my first reaction. And then I was like, well, I don't know. This seems learnable. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it is, right?
Yeah, it is learnable. I think I looked at a walkthrough to like figure out which stages to do in which order, but
That
I
helps a
still had to
lot.
like do them. I remember I did metal first and then bubble next, which is what I still do when I do like my bi-yearly casual playthrough of it, at least at this point. I don't know. I kind of also like wanted to get through it to hear the song that like
Oh, that's
that I played
funny.
it for. Like I wanted to get to Wily One
Yeah.
to fin. It's like to like hear that, so I had to get through the Robot Masters, and then when I was at that point, I was like, oh, well, I guess I can like finish the game at this point, and
At that
then
point, yeah.
the rest of the game was even harder than what I had already done. So
That's such a funny
yeah,
reason to put yourself through that.
yeah. I mean, it was fun. I had
Yeah.
fun. Do it again, probably, but also, I don't know. I was a kid. I was dumb.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
It
I'm
is
glad I
fun, but
did
it's
it.
like such a different kind of fun than you expect from
Oh,
video games
absolutely.
now.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
I mean, not that nobody
torture
makes
fun.
games like that. Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah,
torture fun.
yeah. But it's good torture fun compared to like Nestroid. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's like worse than torture fun. That's just torture and not fun.
All right. So on your ranking of games, is Nestroid below even Link to the Past?
I don't know. I mean, yes, yes, and it's not really close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a bad
like
game.
yeah, like I joke about hating Link to the Past, but I also secretly do hate Link to the Past. But then I just like truly despise Metroid. That game, it had its good points, and it had a good idea, and then it just executed on it in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it made then Super Metroid came from it. So I don't know.
Yeah, they just never really learned anything.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, I also choose to pretend that the gameplay Metroid M2 just doesn't exist,
Oh yeah, a
even
lot of
though
people.
people run that though. I
Of
don't know
course.
why. AMTR sick though. I had fun playing that.
What's that?
Another Metro 2 remake.
Oh, is that a ROM hack?
No, it's oh, I'm surprised you don't know about AM2R. It's like
I don't
it's
think
like
so.
a PC remake of Metroid 2, and then it had like copyright issues with Nintendo, so they issued a CND, but you can still find it if
Hmm.
you know where to look. It's not actually that hard. I
Yeah,
found it
interesting.
fairly quickly. It was a fun play.
But so not a ROM hack, but like a fan project.
Yeah, it was built from scratch, but like they used the M2 layout and like
Right.
I guess assets. I don't know. It's it's very very distinct from the original M2 and then like Samus Returns. Like they're all clearly very different games, but they're also using the same like they're like obviously Metro games. But yeah, I don't know. It's a touchy subject. SG wouldn't restream it for a while, and now they do. Like they've restreamed AM2R tournaments. I think.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's good though.
Okay. Another question that
Yeah.
came to mind
Yeah.
was you sort of glossed over. You're like, oh, I was playing MM2, and then I learned to speedrun SMB1. How did you? How were you aware that that's even a thing? Like, what was your introduction to speedrunning? I guess it was more in the
YouTube.
water at that time in your
Yeah.
life.
I mean, it was 2019.
It's
Might have
pretty a
been.
big hobby at that
Yeah,
point, I
it was
guess.
2019. So like YouTube videos mostly. I watched. I think the first Bismuth SMB1 video
Oh,
was
nice.
on YouTube at that point. So I watched that and I was like, huh, well, what if I did this myself? And then I proceeded to epically fail at doing that myself for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months before realizing that this was a terrible idea. I really wish I'd done that for Super Metroid. That would have been better for everyone involved, I think. Not really. It's a good game. As much as I hate to admit it.
SMB1?
No, Super Metroid.
Oh, SM. Yeah, yeah.
No, SMD1 was, I don't know. I don't think I'd go back to it just because of how dumbly optimized the speedrun is nowadays.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that fun.
Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea at this point. Drewski plays it. Well, he used to play it. I don't think he plays it anymore. Question mark? I don't know. I haven't seen him play it, but he still has it as a profile picture. So I refuse to believe that he's completely out of the picture now. But yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, another thing that's come up a bunch of times is this idea that you switch around between things a lot. You've run like a lot of different categories of SM. You flip between, um, any percent and 100%, and then these meme categories, and then
Mhm,
SMZ3, and then map rando and area rando and whatever.
mhm,
Um, that's an approach that I guess some other people share. Like Chex obviously shares a similar approach to Link to the Past, where he's always like switching around between categories and stuff. Is there any
mhm.
particular reason, or like how do you? I don't know. Do you
I
ever
don't
feel
know.
like do you like set a goal for a category and move on, or do you just play it until you get frustrated and then you want to do something else?
I don't know. I very much just like let my heart dictate whatever I'm playing at the moment. Like I think I was at one point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grind map completion for like a couple months, and then I grinded it for a month and got the time I wanted, and I was like, and then I just never played it again. That's not true. I did play it again later eventually, but I think like the origin of that was my any percent 100% at the start of my SM speedrunning career was like I just like switched like what I'm doing really on like the daily. I would like be like I'm gonna play 100% today and then do that and get a PB because everyone was a PB back then.
Right.
And then I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna play the 80% the other day, and then I would probably not get a PB because I would die to Ridley or something or Fentune. I think I died more to Fentune than I died to Ridley at that point. But I didn't like really know how to practice for a speed run at that point. I was just doing whatever and trying to not mess up the big tricks, and then not really practicing the bosses until I learned that I need to practice the bosses. But yeah, I think then after like late 2020, I started learning. Like I had learned GT Classic at that point, which is another SM category, and then I started learning like map completion and true completion and a couple others categories, and I decided to sit down and do one thing for like at least a week or two at a time, but I really didn't want to get burnt out on whatever I was doing. Like anytime I was like, I don't really feel like this, I would just do something else. And that's kind of just how my mindset goes. It's like right now I'm feeling like well, I was feeling like doing random, then I went to ESA and now I don't know what I feel like I'm doing. Maybe FF6 part two or
Oh, maybe you'll finally finish a run.
yeah, maybe I'll finally get past the set of 4 bullshit bosses at the very end of the run that all of whom can wipe your run.
You want to
But
get into Worlds Collide with me?
no.
Okay.
Actually maybe. I joined the World Collide Discord. I'm still in it.
Yeah, me
But
too. I keep thinking
yeah.
about it, but I don't. I know too little, and so I don't want to like load up a seed and not know what I'm doing, and it'll take 11 hours.
Yeah, that's like a similar experience but also for me is the part where if I learn Worlds Collide, I'd really just rather actually learn the vanilla speedrun and finish the run.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Speaking of Final Fantasy VI, I hate that everyone plays Pixel Remaster and not the SNES version because I don't know. I like the SNES version more, but also
Yeah,
I like the SNES version more because it's the original.
yeah. No,
But
I
also,
agree.
I think Pixel Remaster looks ugly.
I don't think I've watched an FF6 pixel remaster run. I think that the FF5 pixel remaster looks horrible.
Yeah, I haven't watched an FS6 Pixel Remaster run either. Like I watched parts of one. It doesn't have step route, which I'm kind of against, but I also get why people like because maintaining step route for 5 hours is hard, as I've learned.
Yeah, that's the fun though.
Yeah, it is. That is the fun. Like that plus boss fights plus inventory management. I mean, that's like pretty much the entire FS6 run right there. Movement's like really not too hard because that's all just step route. It's a fun run though. I've been saying this, but I do want to actually learn a run. Maybe we'll do it in like 2037 or something. Maybe.
I've tried running a couple RPGs and I find it very difficult to want to start up a run because of the mental weight of all the cutscenes I'm gonna have to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, that like wasn't there for me for like the first 2 weeks, and then classes started because I learned it over my winter break.
Yeah.
Like, well, I tried to learn it over like two consecutive summer breaks. Never actually finished learning it. And then over like my 23 into 2024 winter break, I sat down and actually learned it. And then I had, since like it was college winter break instead of high school winter break, it was a longer winter break, so I
Yeah.
actually had time to learn a 5 hour speed run. And then I actually tried to do runs, and like I got fairly far, and then classes started, and I had less and less time to do runs. So I proceeded to not do runs and then forget the speed run. And now here we are. One day I'll finish a run though.
I believe in you.
Thanks, Fox. I really appreciate the support.
So another question. Do you this is the kind of thing where I feel like it might be very hard to articulate or like understand internally correctly, but do you feel like you know why SM is so much more appealing to you than Link to the Past after having put substantial time into both of them? Like you clearly did actually enjoy Link to the Past for a while, and have fallen off of it pretty hard. So what is it
Yeah,
about either about Link to the Past that, turns you off or about SM that really appeals to you?
I think a part of it is that SMT3 has fallen off. So my interest in Link to the Past connected to SMT3 has fallen off
That makes sense.
as a result of that. But
Yeah.
also, I don't know. I used to enjoy Glitchless Rando in Link to the Past, and now I really don't play that anymore, save for like now Pilot Spoiler. I think the problem is SM Rando got too good, and I like it too much. So I play
Okay.
that too much.
That's good.
I think I also have gotten to a point in SM where I feel like I need to dedicate more time to SM in order to maintain like the standard of times that I consider good. I fairly recently got, was it recently? Yeah, it was this year. I got like a 43 any%, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't have like that similar times in like the past, so I don't really feel the need to keep playing that game to maintain that. But like I wanna keep like my SM standard of play at a good standard. And I also just enjoy the movement of SM a lot. I think it's a really fun game to play, and it just I've been taught like I talked with Ari a bunch about this, and like he shares a similar feeling for Link to the Past. But it's like even if I'm plus 2 minutes, 45 minutes deep into an hour and a half speed run of SM, I'm still having fun because I get to move Samus around and just like doing that and playing the room by room of playing SM is just inherently fun. And like there's just like it's not completely missing when I play into the past, but it's like it's just a little less there,
Yeah.
I guess, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, no, I get that for sure.
yeah, so like I guess I play that less. Maybe one day I'll actually join League and get the sub 90 and then forever retire.
That's good though. I'm glad that the answer is like just that you're really getting a lot out of SM and so you want to put a lot of time into it. That's a good way to go about things, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's not that I hate Zelda, but it is that I just hate Zelda in comparison to
Right.
my love for Super Metroid.
So, do you have any goals? I mean, it sounds like you have a sort of amorphous goal of like continue performing well, presumably in all the rando stuff that you're doing. Do you have any like speedrun goals, or are you trying to hit a top four of a tournament or anything like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so I think right now my goals are do well in the mystery tournament. Currently, I'm 5-0 in the Swiss
That's a good
stage.
start.
I will, at the time of this episode releases on Sundays?
Yeah.
Question mark? Yeah, I will have 2 days ago played my final Swiss match. That's like this Friday. That's like me 5-0 versus the best 4-1 player that I haven't already played. Nevdi should be a fun match. And then I'm getting a playoff fly their way. And then however playoff goes, I'm excited. I think it'll be really fun. I also think that uh, I'm likely to do fairly well, but I don't know exactly how well, obviously, because it's rando.
Yeah.
But yeah, do well in that, and then eventually, like I have a couple speedrun goals that I want to get to at some point. I think the big ones are get sub 90 true completion, get sub 90 max percent suitless, get a better map completion time that's like actually within a minute of record because I had a map completion time that was within almost no, it was within a minute of record. It was within 59 seconds of record, and then Cicerine actually ran the category for more than a week and got the record by a minute and a half
Who did
within
that?
all state. Cicerine. He is
Okay, I don't know the name.
uh he's a Japanese runner, but he lives in America and he is insanely good. He actually doesn't use to practice hack because he plays in a SNES Classic and refuses to hack it. So
Right.
yeah, it's mind boggling how good he is. Like it's nuts. So he took the record by a minute and a half and now is just uncontestedly good. And I kind of want to change that, but that will also require time. And I don't want to do that yet.
Yeah.
But also, yeah. And then just like run whatever meme category I want, improve my 100% time, improve my 90% time, maybe run low percent ice at one point. Who knows? And then I guess there's like other speed games. Uh, get sub 90 in Links to the Past, finish an FF6 run. Yeah, I think those are like the two big ones. I did mention earlier that I've run Rogue Soul too, and I'm probably just never going to run that again until somebody bops my 90% glitchless time. And then once somebody does that, then I'll probably still continue to not run it because that's how I live my life. But I don't know. Maybe that'll change if somebody actually runs my if somebody actually bops that. Maybe I'll just get offended enough that I'll return. There is a cycle to save on one of the three boss fights, so yeah, time will tell. I suppose. I think that's most of my goals. Just like the general whatever I feel like is always there.
Right, right. Not a
Yeah,
very concrete list, just some things that are on your mind.
exactly. There's like a massive list I wrote once in my Twitch page about me or whatever. It's not really comprehensive, but it's mostly comprehensive for when I wrote it and for Super Metroid. So yeah, I'll probably update that right after this because now I'm thinking about it. So
Everybody's Twitch about me is always so hopelessly out of date. I just don't even bother.
oh yeah, it's like kind of funny. It just always tickles me whenever I see somebody's about me that's like, yeah, I'm gonna get this time, and then they're like 3 years retired or haven't updated this in 2 years or something. It's actually hilarious.
There's also a funny thing if you scan through, I'm sure SM has this too, but if you look through Link to the Past comments on SRC,
Uh huh.
a
Yeah.
lot of them are like, oh, sub 90 coming soon, submitted 7 years ago.
Yeah. 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 There's a good one on Deer Tier somewhere. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Um, on Deer Tier, there's this run by Xaem. There's like it's like a 2.5 hour map completion run. This is like double the record time at like today, and it's the guy mentions he had to do the run because he lost a bet to I don't know who it was, but he subsequently says thanks a lot Wild Anaconda and Fusta submitted 10 years ago now. Also on that same leaderboard is Chronic Sauces 13703, which says, "Will not stand for long, going to improve, old enough that it doesn't have a date on Dieter."
Wow.
So,
Will
yeah.
not stand for long.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 10 years really isn't that long. So,
That's true.
yeah.
You can imagine that being
Mhm.
written on the feet of Ozymandias.
I don't know. I don't get that joke because I'm way too young.
Oh my god. You haven't read Ozymandias by Percy Shelley?
I have not.
Oh goodness. I'll send you a link later.
All right, sick. I will.
Surely the rest of my audience is erudite enough to get that joke.
Yeah, it's okay. I will write that down and then not read it
Okay.
for years.
Sounds
Who
good.
knows? Yeah, sounds like a plan.
All right. How did you fall into adminning everything and taking over all of SM?
So in 2020, when I just learned Super Metroid, I wrote down on a piece of paper that I wasn't actually doing it for fun. I was doing it to corrupt the entire Super Metroid community with my power and take over everything. So that was the actual real goal behind my conquest of Super Metroid. I'm glad you let me share that with everyone.
Okay.
No, that okay. No, okay. So the actual reason is
Okay.
uh, because I got roped into helping out with the 2021 GT Classic tournament. It was like at the very start of 2021. It was technically called the 2020 GT Classic tournament because the very first matches were played like in the last week of 2020, and then everything else happened in 2021. So I helped with that, and I was like, "Huh, this is actually kind of fun." Which is where I really should have known that things were going wrong. So then after that, Mr. Guy Average DMs me and is like, "Hey, you want to organize like a category extensions multicap," which is a horrible idea, but we did it anyway.
Is that the one that had like 69% and the
Yes.
like Prima guide route or whatever?
Uh, the what?
Wasn't there one that was a route that like came out of like a guide for like a like one of those
Oh,
paper
oh,
guides that
yeah, yeah,
Prima
yeah.
sells?
Nintendo Power Percent.
Nintendo
That's
Power.
what it's
Oh,
called.
Nintendo Power,
Yeah,
not Prima. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
We actually have two of them in Super Metroid.
Ooh,
We have
awesome.
Nintendo Power Percent, which is any percent, but it's like 49%, I think, is the percentage you get. And then there's Club Nintendo percent, which is like the Brazilian version. It's 100%, and it is the worst thing to ever materialize. Like you know how the 100% record is like a 112. This thing is like just barely not sub 90. It is that bad.
Oh wow, yeah, not an ideal route.
I think like we do like we go out the back of wrecked ship and then we go to spring ball next. And like it's like faster to do Forgotten Highway. It's that bad.
I don't know what Forgotten Highway is, and I've still never learned what Spring Ball is. But I trust you, the expression on your face, that it's very bad.
Yeah, it's bad. So Club Nintendo percent was not in that tournament, but Nintendo Power percent was. I think the categories, if I remember right, were 69, Nintendo Power, max percent GT code, which is 135%. It's complicated. Oh, what were the other ones? I actually don't remember at this point. Oh, there's North Korea percent, which is haha funny meme because you know how the bosses are, yeah, KPDR, you just put in DPRK,
Yeah.
Democratic People's Republic of Korea. It's a great meme. It's actually pretty good. At least I liked it for a while, and then I realized that I could just run reverse boss order and have more fun and do the same stuff. We hit that, and then the last one was oh yeah, the last one was 90% all bosses, which is a category extension for some dumb reason. I really don't know why.
Oh, because it has like Spore Spawn or whatever in
Yeah,
addition to the real bosses.
yeah, Sports Spawn, Crocomire, and
Right.
Gold Teresa. That's it.
Right. Right.
It's literally the optimal route is a different route than the optimal route for any percent. It's like a hybrid route between KPDR and new route, which is actually pretty neat. It's a neat route, but it's also just any percent but with extra steps, and you go through Brinstar at the end
Right.
because you have to go kill Sports Spawn, and it's just bad enough to do them at the beginning. Or rather, it's good enough to do him at the end because you just walk in, fire one charge shot at him after you wait for him to open his shell, and then you leave. It's great. Great fight.
One shot. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, I did that. And like that went pretty well. And I ended up doing most of the work for that tournament because, well, really because MGA didn't, and I was like, well, nobody else is going to, so I
Yeah.
did. Um, Technically, there were a couple other organizers that were even less active than he was, but he was the actual tournament lead. I was like the guy who did everything behind the scenes and begged for comms on the daily.
Right.
So that's my favorite part about being a tournament admin is begging for comms.
Yeah, that's my favorite part too. What a coincidence.
It's great. Then I did that, and then I took a break, which is the last break I was ever going to get. And then I organized the next GT Classic tournament, which was like at the start of 2022, but we called it the 2021 tournament because we love consistent naming. But I did that. I didn't really do much for that tournament actually. I just like was still an organizer because I helped out so much with the one before. And then things really got kicking off with the summer 22 multicat. That was kind of like where SM Rando just like took a turn, I guess. Like that, I think that was where we started implementing delay, which is kind of a mistake, and I regret it. Yeah, boo. I I'm actually going to petition to remove delay from
Nice.
future SM tournaments that don't have a cash pool, but whatever. Anyways, yeah, I distinctly remember it was like the last day of my junior year of high school, and I get a DM from Kim that's like, "Yo, you want to be on the admin team for the next random tournament we're doing?" And like it meant a lot to me. I know what well I know why because it made me feel like I was important, and also I liked admining tournaments. So that was a day because like I got home and then immediately had like a 5 hour long chat with the rest of the admins, both on getting me into the admin team and also talking about this tournament that we're about to do that I had no idea about until just now. So that was a day. Yeah, then that happened. I did that tournament. I did a lot of the. I didn't do like the crew stuff. That was Tracy's job and still is. But I did like a lot of the rules writing
Hmm.
and just like a lot of the menial spreadsheet updating stuff like that. That was my job. Still is because I don't know. I make a good spreadsheet. I guess I I still like use the same qualifier spreadsheet that I built for last year's SG Live for this year's SG Live. But then I did that, and then it just got worse from there. I admined an SMZ3 tournament for SG Live online that year, and then I admined. I think like my first solo admin, like true solo admin, was SG Live 23, which wasn't even true solo. I had Idle Child to help me out, but he mostly did like put out the fire while mm2's asleep. That was a big deal, but it was fun. And then I did that. Then I didn't admin anything, and now I'm adminning things again. And I'm probably going to be adminning things for a while because undisclosed reasons.
Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
actually, no, I've been talking about it for a while. I'm probably going to do a multicat after SG Live in person is done because I want to, and it's been 4 years.
4 years. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, it is about time. Actually, funny story. I at like the very beginning of my SM speaking career was like the 2020 multicat, which is I was like, well, I'm going to get better at all these different categories, so I'm ready for the next multicat. 4 years later, we still haven't had a next multicat. I am probably going to be the person that organizes said next multicat. So
So you get to pick the categories you're already good at.
yeah, exactly. I get to not pick low percent ice because it's been 4 years and I still haven't done a run of it. I should though, just because otherwise I'm going to lose by 30 minutes to people who've actually run it.
Well, if it's in the event, you'll have to do at least a couple runs.
See, that's where you're wrong because I can just veto it every time.
Or you
Actually,
can just
no,
not join your own tournament.
true.
Not
That'd
have
be
to
a
play SM
first.
at all.
But I like it. I
Uh,
like SM.
yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work on me, Fox. I don't know. That's my world domination story. It only gets worse.
So I guess you just sort of started helping with stuff and then kept saying yes to people who asked you to help with things, which is a rookie mistake. And now here you
Oh
are.
yeah, yeah. Now here I am, and now I run the SM3 weekly and the AD monthly, and two tournaments, and probably more tournaments down the line.
It's a lot of stuff.
So yeah, I don't know how I'm not going to implode.
Yeah, do you ever feel like it's too much? Does it get in the way of your life?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I At one point I was doing work for the SMZ3 Weekly at rehearsal at a couple points of time, which was really like that was the sign that things had gone wrong. Like there were other signs, but that was a sign that I just completely missed. I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. This is normal. It was not normal.
Yeah. For anyone listening who doesn't know this, you want to talk about what rehearsal is?
Oh yeah, I I'm a professional singer. It actually wasn't work because I was still in high school at that point, but I was like I was doing like tech work for my community theater, and I was just like on my phone in the race time room while I was like not doing other stuff. But I do that, and then I go to school for the voice and sing professionally. It's actually pretty cool, but it's also scary because having a career in the arts in the world that we live in today is just inherently scary.
Yeah. It's not too late.
Yeah,
You're still young.
yeah, I can still change my major to CS like everybody else.
Yeah. Get that
I
money.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm coping that by the time I graduate college, it's gonna be too late for CS, and it's everybody. The field's gonna be overpopulated with the people who've already gone for CS, and
Mhm.
then also AI. If that
When
makes
I
sense.
was in college, I didn't study CS, but when I was in college, a lot of people were doing that same cope. They've been doing it
Oh,
since the 60s or 70s. Yeah.
nice. Okay. Well, I guess that means that I should do CS.
I mean, I don't want to tell you too much how
No,
to live your life, but I think it's
no,
more secure than singing.
no. I agree. Absolutely. Still not going to do it though. I've thought too much about this, and singing is too fun.
Fair enough. I think that's about everything that I wanted to talk about. Heard your story, dug into the things about it that I was curious about. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I was going to mention that I did the that I was about to do the ESA marathon run, but then we couldn't make our schedule work together to record the episode before ESA. So now here we are after the ESA marathon run. But I did
Oh
that.
yeah.
That was fun. I love the part where I managed to get everything for Ari so that he has a great time playing his game, and then I have to do the most miserable suitless Meridia ever. It was great. It was actually a pretty good showcase of Super Metroid, apart from the fact that I suck.
Right, but that can't be helped though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's like most of the things I want to talk about. I'm sure like there's going to be something else that's going to come up that I'll DM you later about and be like, I can't believe I didn't mention this in the podcast. And then you'll say, too bad, so sad.
That's fine. I'll use it as a title, a clickbait title.
Great. I'm glad we can work this out together.
Perfect. All right. Well, I don't know if you've listened to the Josh episode, but I've given up on the tier list thing, so no tier
Yeah.
list for you.
Oh well, this is what happens when I lose to Josh. Oh
Yeah.
well, I'll live.
If you wanted to do a tier list, what would your tier list of choice be?
Uh, I feel like I could just say Super Metroid extension categories and just ranking
Yeah.
them because that's actually pretty. That's actually a pretty good thing I could rank. I'd probably put True Completion and Max Pursuit List in S tier, and then like everything else would be somewhere between A and C tier, and then the stuff I haven't run is D tier, just by in general. But that's like my vibe.
I'll have to stand in for the tier list.
Let's go. Yeah, that's your 30-second tier list. Enjoy.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. It was nice to talk to you, and
Yeah,
I'll catch you later.
yeah. I'll see you later.